Start, if we can just maybe digest the piece of samosa that's in our hand, and then we'll just focus on the Mumantar. We'll do Mumantar together, Sangat Rupvich, and then after we'll start with the talk. So if everybody can please join in, nice and loud. Let's get ourselves some energy. I think I need the energy as well. Been a long few days in terms of traveling and doing seva, so it'll be great to share that energy as well and uplift ourselves with this energy. ठीक है जी, so if everybody together, let's do one with the jap. WhyGuru, WhyGuru Sahib Ji, एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभउ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आदि सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभउ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आदि सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम एक ओंकार एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभउ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसाद जप आदि सच जुगाद सच है भी सच आदि सच जुगाद सच है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. So welcome back to these Thursday talks. I think I was here a month ago, so I'm on a bit of a track record, 2 times in 2 months. So it's nice to see loads of familiar faces as well, and new faces, loads of new faces, which is nice. So every time I'm blessed to come up to Birmingham, it's nice to see the Sangha and have their darshan. So the topic today is something along the lines of Guru Nanak Ji. I can't remember what the topic was. It was on the poster, but the talk is on Guru Nanak Ji, and upon a concept of when Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj Ji came. I think last week you had by Aman Singh, I think his name, Deep Singh or Aman Singh, I think it's Aman Singh Hanji. Then the week before was Bibi Gurveen Kaur, and the topic for this month is based mainly around Siddhi Guru Nanak Dev Ji, right? And of course from then we can delve into the other Guru Sahiban as well, as the message is very consistent as well. So before I go any further, does anybody recognize this line? Has anybody seen this line before? If you can't read Gurmukhi, it's fine. I'll read it out. Has anybody ever come across this before? And does anybody know where it's from? Tika. So some people maybe don't want to say something. Someone gave me like an angry look, so it's like, give me the answer, right? Like, I came here to learn, not to be told. I'll ask the questions and give the answer. So this is I don't actually know where it's from, but it comes in Katha by saints as well when they talk about Siddhi Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and they say very beautifully कि तारे गिने जाते हैं, that you will be able to count potentially all the stars in the whole universe. But तारे ना गिनाते हैं, but you'll never be able to count that many people that Siddhi Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj Ji saved. Countless people. So you can count all the stars, but you cannot count those people, those countless people that Siddhi Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj Ji, they themselves have saved. So I think it's a really beautiful way to start off. We think about Siddhi Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj, because even till this present day, many of us are being saved, right, by Siddhi Guru Nanak Ji. The famous line that was covered 2 weeks ago when Bibi Gurveen ko did the talk, she talked about a very famous on the Bhai Gurdas. She says, Suni Pokar da tar prabh Guru Nanak jag mahe pataya. And we always, which it is the case, that Shabad is to do with the time when Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj Ji came on this earth, and they said there was a pakar, there was a cry. Right? Where was the cry from? If anybody wants to give me an answer, I know, angry look. Anybody?
The people.
The people? Correct? Anyone else? There's more than one correct answer. The Tarti, the earth. Benji? You say Tarti. Tika. So Hanji, from the people, from the earth itself, why that it was crying out. But even in today's world, when somebody cries out for the Guru, then why wouldn't the Guru come today? That is the point, right? And one Saki to almost illustrate that, you could say, is just skipping ahead to the time of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj Ji was sitting on the throne, and the Sangh would come to visit Guru Gobind Singh Ji, at one moment, Bhai Daya Singh Ji came. So you all know who Bhai Daya Singh Ji is, right? Of the Panj Pyare, right? The 5 beloved ones. The first one to stand up and give their head was Bhai Daya Singh Ji. And when Bhai Daya Singh Ji came to see Guru Gobind Singh Ji, they were a bit confused. The reason why Bhai Daya Singh Ji was confused is because Guru Gobind Singh Ji was sitting in meditation. They're doing Simran. Tika? The Bhai Daya Singh Ji says to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Ke hey Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, the whole world is doing Simran of you. The whole world is remembering you. So who are you remembering? Tika? Like we say, ke, the Guru and WhyGuru are one. Guru Paramesar Eko Jan. Aap Narayan, Kalatar. That they themselves, we believe this concept, right? That our Guru Jaisa Nahi Ko Dev. Our Guru is not some type of Devta, they're not some type of demigod. Right? Our Guru is not a human. So Kema Manasurupa Kahai. Those are Guru Gobind Singh Ji's words. They say, how can you call Guru a human? Right? So they're saying to Guru Gobind Singh Ji, then who are you remembering? Right? If we're all remembering you, then who are you doing Simran of? And Guru Gobind Singh Ji smiles up by Daya Singh Ji, and they said that I remember those people that remember me. Tika? So it's that relationship. And it wasn't just then when the Tarti was crying out, it wasn't just then when the people of that time were crying out, it's even today. Yeah, when we remember the Guru is remembering us. So it's a relationship from both sides, right? So this saying here about Paratare na ganata hai, we cannot count those countless people that Guru Sahib Ji is saving even till this present day as well. And we're very blessed, to be born into the home or to come into the home of the Guru as well. So I thought it'd be nice just to start off with that. So what is next? Taking it a bit back then, speaking about Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, some of my, I'd say, favorite shabads when somebody speaks about Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Bhai Gurdas Ji. So Bhai Gurdas Ji being a great scholar from the Guru's time, they were the nephew of the 3rd Guru, they were the cousin of the 4th Guru, they were the uncle of the 5th Guru, and so on. And we covered them last time. Who was here for the last talk when I was down? Okay, one person smashed it, right? Or 2 people, right? So if you were here then you realize that in that story, Bhai Gurdas Ji was getting tested, right? A really hard test. Even after Bhai Gurdas Ji had wrote Guru Granth Sahib Ji, which is a big thing to do, right? Even after Bhai Gurdas Ji was being tested by you could say their grandson, in terms of lineage, their grandson Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji was testing them. And they failed that test. So if you want to know what happened, watch the live streams. Bhai Gurdas Ji speaks about Guru Nanak Dev Ji when they come upon this earth. So I didn't take the whole Shabad and put it on the screen, but I'll go through most of the Shabad. The first line, they say, Phir puchhin Siddh Nanaka. So the Siddhs ask Guru Nanak Dev Ji a question. They say, Mat lok vich kya vartara? That means that in the world, what is going on? Now, in order for them to ask that question, it means that they're not in the world. Right? They're hiding in the mountains. They're doing their own thing. So they say to Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Ke maat lok vich kya vartara? What is going on in the world? And that's when Guru Nanak Dev Ji explains to them, you know what? The world is not a great place to be. And when I was thinking about this topic, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I was walking towards the Gurdwara side, and when I was walking inside, I was saying to Guru Sahib, help a brother out, give me a topic that I can cover, right? Maybe on the board, the Hukanama Sahib might come up and it might give me a shabad. Oh yeah, I remember that story, something. But when I was walking in, I was blessed because the Kirtanis were singing a shabad. Jojo dise, so rogi. Anybody heard the shabad before? Well, if you haven't, you'll learn about it today. It's a beautiful shabad by Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And they say, Jojo dise, wherever I look, so rogi. Everybody has a disease. What is that disease? We'll go through in a bit. But they say, Rog rahata mera Satguru jogi. They say, the one who has no rog to rahat, that is my Satguru. Right? Jogi. Jogi means jodna, the one who's joined to WhyGuru Ji. In that case, Satguru and those those that are joined themselves to WhyGuru Ji, they don't have this rog, which we're going to go through. Right? So they're saying to Guru Nanak Dev Ji, okay, what's going on in the world? And when Guru Nanak Dev Ji explains what's going on in the world, they say, Sab siddhi eh bujjiya kalataran nanak avatara. That they all realize that this is the avatar. This is the form of WhyGuru Ji on this earth. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji explains to them what is happening in the world. Babbe Akhya Nath Ji, Sach Chandrama, Kura Andara. That basically, it's just darkness everywhere. There's ignorance, right? There's no hope. There's no light, right? And they're saying, I won't read this whole show. They say, that I've come now into the world. I've come to search for that truth. I've come to search for that light. So those people in the world that are crying out, I'm coming to search for those people. And you'll see that throughout the life of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And then they say, Papa Garasi Piratami, Taul Kara, Tara here to Pakara. The whole world is filled in pop. The whole world is filled in sin. Right? And it says that the earth cannot handle the weight. Say Taul, so the answer you gave for Tarti, a correct answer as well. Say Taul Kara. Taul here refers to Shri Japji Sahib. Where does it come in? Say Panch Paravan Pauri, Tarti Hor, Pare Hor. This there Par Tale Kavanajor. They're talking about the bull that is holding up the earth. What the people at that time believed. The Guru is saying there's not a bull holding the earth up, because in order for the bull to hold the earth up, somebody's got to be holding the bull up. That must be another earth. Tarti Hor, Pare Hor. Right? So when you Japji Sahib, it comes in there. So it's not the Taul, it's Taram, righteousness. The world cannot handle the weight of sin. Right? It cannot handle the weight of people that have forgotten WhyGuru Ji. It comes in the Shabad Visarya Jinnanam, say Poete Parthiye, along those lines, right? Ratte Isk Khudai, in that Shabad. Right? So they're basically saying that this earth cannot handle the weight of people that forgot WhyGuru Ji. And at that time, a lot of people, unfortunately, had forgot the truth. And that's why Guru said, just come ho palan. Jariya Sansar, I've come to search for that truth. So Taul Kharat Tara here to Pakara, say the Chapa Bete Parabati. The Sids, the ones that could do something, they're hiding in the mountains. Kaun Jagatarako Parotar. Who's going to save the world? And they say in the last line, Baj Guru, Dubba Jagasara. Right? The Guru, the whole world is drowning. Tika? The whole world is drowning without the Guru, and that is the state at that time. So, ooh, fancy. I didn't know that was going to happen. It's funny, I took an old presentation and I lost that one because it's like chucking this stuff on top of it. Right? So, who's heard the story of Satya Sauda, the true trade? Put your hands up, please, and hands up like you mean it. Right? Okay, a few people, right? So I won't go through the whole story, but it's an important concept because something actually happens in that story that we may not have known. Right? So, obviously, Guru Nanak Dev Ji's father sends them off to do some business, right? Might start ringing some bells in people's heads who didn't put their hand up. And because before that, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, whatever their father told them to do, it didn't work out, right? Whatever that was. So they said, now I want you to start a business, right? I'm going to give you some money. How much money did they give them? 20 rupees. And then they went and took those 20 rupees. They went towards a different bend. They went to a shop. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj went to go buy some items, right? Obviously, the reason why they bought those items is because there's poor people, Pukhe Sadhus, hungry saints. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj said that, you haven't eaten in so long. Why don't you let me buy you some food? Tika? Does anybody know what Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj bought from the shop? No silly answers, right? Don't be dropping Haribos and stuff in it, all that stuff. What did Guru Nanak buy from the shop? If you were going to feed these Bukhe Sadhus, or you're going down Swervik High Street and you buy somebody some food, what would you buy? There's no Greggs in those days. You can't get a pasty orange juice. What do you think Guru Nanak Maharaj bought for the sadhus? And this is written, right? It's actually written what Guru Nanak bought and how much they spent on every item as well.
Dal.
Dal? No, they didn't buy dal, right? Any ideas? If you need a clue, I'll give you a clue, but I need some more like emphasis, like people, enthusiasm's the word, right? Hanji? No, they did not buy Sholay either. Even they like your dal in it and stuff in it. Hanji, don't say paneer.
No,
Fruit? No. It's a good answer though. Yes, that is one correct answer. It's at that game show, Family Fortune, innit? And then you go get the points. One answer was rice. There's more items. Okay, so you got chol. Okay, so they bought chol. What else did they buy? Atta. Theek hai. Now you're getting it. Okay, so you got chol and atta. And they both cost 5 rupees. Theek hai? So you got 5 rupees on chol and 5 rupees on atta. Theek hai? How many rupees we got left now? 10. Okay, so what are we going to do? There's last 10 rupees now. What do you think Guru Nanak bought now from the shop? Butter, correct. Yeah? Desi ghee, they got their butter. That was 3 rupees. Right? There you go. So now, how many points to go? 7 to go. Yeah. Ooh. I'm really good at maths, I was. Hanji? Can't say like 5 answers. Pick one answer. Yeah, you're saying all of them. Okay, which one you going with, Paji? Okay, that's correct. You're not in the game, it makes a noise. You win a special prize. You get like a holiday somewhere. You ain't getting none of that. Okay. So dud, okay? So we've got the chol, we've got the atta, we've got the kyo, and we've got the dud. So we spent 16 rupees. We've got 4 rupees left over. What are we spending it on? What about Guru Nanak Ji? Salt? No, not salt. It's close though, it's close. It's that one where you put the wrong thing in the tea. That's salt. That's the wrong one. What is it then? Sugar. Right? I'll tell you a funny story. I did that once. When I was at the Vidyalaya, when I was learning, so shout out to the Devral crew that started the Sikh Vidyalaya. I think some of the students have come in talks as well. I've been here. When I was on the Vidyalaya 8 years ago, I was asked by Baljeet Singh he asked me to make him a cup of tea in it. And I thought, yeah, I'll make a cup of tea, that's mine, all right? And then when he drank it, he spat it out. And I was like, what did I do wrong? He goes, you put salt in it, right? So I mixed the salt and the sugar. They look the same though, innit? You can't really tell a difference. Well, I can't. That's how you know how much sugar I add into my food. So Hanji, it was sugar. Tika? Sugar was the answer. So now you spent how much money? That was 3 rupees as well, by the way. 19. So how much you got left? What do you think they spent the last of the pay on? This is the most important.
Water.
No, not water.
Bag for life.
Hanji? Bag for life. Yeah, that's a good answer. Bag for life. It wasn't a bag for life.
A jar.
A jar. No, it wasn't. Last answer. Come on, who's gonna get it? Hanji? No, not Balin. That's a good answer as well. Oh, go on, Penji. Oh, Benji smashed it. Benji got it. Right? It was a delivery service. Right? So like Uber Eats today, right? In those days, Guru Nanak paid somebody to carry all the stuff. 1 rupee. Right? Benji been the Nand Prakash, innit? Benji knows, man. Yeah? So, Hanji, so Guru Nanak, the last of the pay that was left, they gave it to the storekeeper and said, carry the items. Because in today's I think 20 rupees is nothing, right? In those days, that was a lot of money. Their father was a Patwari. They were an accountant, Pita Kaluji, and they were not just any random accountant. They were the accountant of the whole village. So is anybody accountant in there? Anybody? Really? That's so, okay, there you go. Imagine you did all the accounts for the whole village, right? And for the main man of the village. So it was Rai Bulad. So Guru Nanak Maharaj's family was very well off. Very rich. So their father was a Patwari, the accountant. So they gave them a lot of money. 20 rupees is a lot of money that day. And imagine how much food they would have bought, and that was the delivery service. Anyway, that was the story. That wasn't the point. But what I was trying to get to was that when Guru Nanak Maharaj bought the items and they fed those Bukhe Sadhus, Santa Renji was the main person. And he comes back in history later on when Japji Sahib was written. he's the same individual, so he's an important individual to learn about. When Guru Nanak Ji returns, on the journey back they realize, I shouldn't have done that, because my dad told me to buy items with that and sell it for a higher price and make a profit. And obviously they've done the true profit spiritually, but Dunyavi thought in the worldly sense they're going to get in trouble. And cutting a long story short, they do not go back into the village. They send Bhai Balaji, who went with them, who actually carried the money as well, because their father didn't even trust them with the money. They actually gave it to someone else and said, you look after it and make sure my son doesn't do nothing wrong with it. And in their eyes, they're obviously upset. When Guru Nanak Ji's father finds out, they're very angry, and the story goes that they slap Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj, right? They slap them twice, right, in the face, right? And when this is happening, Bibi Nanak Ji, their sister, they see this, and Bibi Nanak Ji says that this is my father's home, so I can't do nothing about this, right? But one day, when I have my own home, then I'll bring my brother with me, and he'll stay in my home, and this will never happen to him. So she had this promise inside her heart that when I have my own home, then my brother will stay with me. And that's exactly what happened. Because Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj spent the first, you could say about 14 years, I think it was, in Siddhi Nanakana Sahib, as we call it today. Right? Then Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj moved to Siddhi Sultanpur Sahib. And they stayed in Siddhi Sultanpur Sahib for about 14 years as well. Okay, and they stayed there to the age of about 28, and then we'll get into details. According to the main Itahascar that I'm following in that case, right, historian. So when Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj moved to Siddhi Sultanpur Sahib, they stayed there. So for 28 years, they only stayed mainly in two main cities. They didn't, how it said about them in the previous one, Hopal and the Chariya Sansara, that now I've gone to search for that truth. They're just in two areas. And now that they're staying there, Guru Nanak Ji's routine. Who's been to India here? Representing? Yeah, everyone been? Most people? Who's been to Gurdwara Bear Sahib? In Sultanpur Sahib? Guru Nanak Ji's Gurdwara, where there's a tree and there's a river, Vai Nadi. So when you walk down that pora, you walk down the stairs, and then there's a little area and you can sit there. You get space. And it says on there, Guru Nanak Ji sat here for 13, 14 years, I think it was, and did the Nitnem, or 11 years, I can't remember. But so that was where Guru Nanak Ji sat and did the Nitnem, right? And that's where the famous story occurs of when Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj goes to Sachkhand, right? They go into do Ishnan in the morning by Pagirat Ji, a very close Sikh of theirs, held their clothes whilst Guru Nanak Ji did Ishnan. They went in the river, Chubi Marke, they basically dipped down into the water and they never came back up. And they went to Sachkhand. I'm not here to go for the nitty-gritty of the story. It's coming to this point here, which is that when Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj went to Sachkhand and they met WhyGuru Ji, right? When WhyGuru Ji speaks to them, they ask them this question. They said that I sent you to this earth to spread the truth. Why have you not done it yet? Which is very interesting to hear, because the question that occurs a lot of the time is that what was Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj like before they went to Sachkhand? Were they not the Guru? You know, all these kind of questions, right? From a young age, Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj was already the form of God on this earth. They were already one, right? Again, any questions, please feel free to ask. But Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj was already reciting Gurbani before this instance of being 28, right? They've already been reciting Bani. So the question here that WhyGuru is asking Guru Nanak Ji is that, why have you not done what I've told you? And that's when Guru Nanak Ji says to WhyGuru Ji that I haven't got a guru. Right? I haven't got a guru. And because I don't have a guru, in this world there's a maryada, there's a way of living. Then in order to become a guru, you must first take upon a guru. You must first become a Sikh. And WhyGuru Ji says to Guru Nanak Ji that there's nobody on this earth who is of your level, of your avastha, of your stage of spirituality. Right? Like we say, Sabate Vadda Satguru Nanak. So for that reason, I'll be a guru. WhyGuru Ji says, I'll be a guru, and then you go into the world now and do what you're meant to do, which is spread the truth. And it said that at that time, Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj looks towards the earth. Right? And I feel like Bhai Gurdashi writes it so beautifully about that moment. Right? So this actually comes a few, you could say like Shabads after the Suni Pukar Datar Prabha, about Bhai Gurdashi say, Baba dekhe dhyan tar, jarti sab prithvi dis aaye. That Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj Dunya nu dekh, they're looking towards the world, and they say, Baba dekhe dhyan tar. They're focusing on the world. Jarti sab prithvi. Jarti means burning. Prithvi means the world. They see the whole world is burning. Now, if you read the English translation, I cut some of it out because it kind of gives away the answer. What does it mean by the world burning? Any ideas? And my request is, don't think just in one dimension, in one way. What do you think it means when they say that Guru Nanak is looking at the earth, they're in Sachkhand, they're looking towards earth, and Jalati Saba Prithvi, this eye. Within their vision, they can see the whole world is burning. What do you think Bhai Gurdash is alluding to here when they're saying that? Yes, bro. Sorry?
They're stuck in Kaljug.
They're stuck in Kaljug. What does that mean? I don't know what Kaljug means.
They're stuck in worldly things, not like remembering life.
What worldly things are getting stuck in?
Like
Maya? What's Maya? You good? Keep going.
money, Panchchod.
Money, wealth, Panch, Jod. Theek hai, I'm liking it. Good. Hanji?
I was going to say because the world like very false, full of falsehood.
Yes, you can say it.
There was no such.
Yes.
Very little.
Theek hai, the world is filled in falsehood, no such. Anything else? So we've got Panch, Jod. Other things that come to mind?
You got people like Babur.
Yep.
Trading everywhere.
Okay.
Agreed again.
Got Babur, who's the first of the Mughal Empire to come in that era to India. Anything else that comes to mind? Yes. Attachment, big thing, attachment. We all have that. Anything else? This is all kind of, this is only one dimension. It's all, it's still fine, it's correct. Like Panch, Jod, all this stuff, right? But let's think a bit more outside the box of just these things as well.
Disconnected from WhyGuru.
Okay, perfect. Disconnected from WhyGuru. Really good as well. Jalti, burning. What things do we burn in? Besides the Panch Jod? Hanji. Pollution. Okay, that's not a bad answer, right? In those days, it was all right, I figured. There wasn't the whole, whatever you call it, this whole thing that was made, the industry. Hanji?
World full of sadness.
World full of sadness. I'm liking this. Keep taking it further. Take it further. Sadness, despair,
No hope.
hope.
And also the religions that had existed prior hadn't fulfilled what they were meant to fulfill. So people didn't have dharma.
Yeah.
So there was greed and there was killing. And so anarchy.
Perfect. Great answers. Definitely anarchy, chaos, greed, things that people were just sad. People depressed. Right? They didn't know what the truth was, right? There was like a hole inside them. Right? So that's what I meant. I was just trying to think a bit wider than just the Panch Jod, right? What other things come out of it, even in today's world that we burn in, right? Or a lot of the time we may feel like we are good people, but why are bad people doing things? And why are bad people getting away with bad things? But then that burns us as well. So it's not always like making ourselves the victim, saying that's because of my growth. It could be something else that's happening in the world that then affects us and makes us burn in all these kind of things. So Prithvi, this eye, the whole world is burning. And say, WhyGuru go bar hai kardi. The whole world is crying because WhyGuru. They don't have a guru. They don't have the true guru. Like we read in Gurbani, Guru bina ko orandar, Guru bina samajh na aave. Guru bina surta na siddha, Guru bina mukta na paave. Without the guru, there's complete darkness. Right? Guru bina ko orandar. Not just a little bit of darkness, it's like ko orandar, which means that the deepest type of darkness. So it comes in Asaki Vad, Jeso chanda ugvahe, Suraj chade hai ajar. Ete chandan hondia, Guru bina ko orandar. You can have 1,000 moons, hundreds of suns, however it goes, let's just the way around. But without the Guru, Guru bina ko orandar, there's complete darkness. Right? So, Babbe pekh banaya. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji took upon a form, right? You could say even physically, the clothes that they wore, and they say Reet Udasi. They started this Udasi Reeta, this tradition, Udasi ki Reet chalai, of going around the world and spreading this idea of becoming detachment. Now, what is the difference between love and attachment? Does anybody know? Or are they the same thing?
No, they're not the same thing.
They're not the same thing. If they're not the same thing, then what is the difference? How would you differentiate between love and attachment? Yes.
Love has no conditions attached to it.
Love has no conditions attached to it. Perfect. Good answer. Anything else?
Does one include devotion and one doesn't? Like bhakti?
One includes devotion, one does not. Maybe, maybe not. Like, it depends if you can explain it in more detail.
So like attachment seems like you're taking a lot rather than giving something. So when you love something truly, you're devoted to it, you're just going to give to it.
ठीक है, so it's more about giving rather than taking. ठीक है, that's a good answer. हाँ जी, बहन जी.
Similarly, I would say love is supposed to be selfless
Hmm.
and attachment is selfish.
Okay, so love is meant to be selfless and attachment is selfish. Like in the words of self in there as well. Really good as well. So again, all great answers. One way to look at it is like how you have a babysitter, right, who may come and look after a child, and she loves that child, but she realizes that that isn't her child, and she'd have to move on one day. So she could unconditionally love that child, but she knows that that child is not going to stay. She still has the love, but there wasn't that attachment because she has to move on. And it's something that Guru Maharaj shared in this world, that live in the world, have love for this world, have love for each other, but realize that, you know, one day this person, my father, for example, my mother, whoever it is, this individual, they're not going to be my father forever. They're not going to be, at one point they weren't my father. Right? And that relationship's not going to stay forever, because that's not a true relationship, because these are just names that we made up right now because of the way of the world. So Chadiya Sodana, Tartolokai, that Guru Nanak Ji Maharaj is coming into this earth now to solve these problems. So, just going through a concept that will come to a Saki at the end to finish off. A very nice Saki that hopefully encapsulates a lot of it. So going back to the Shabad from earlier, Jo Jo Di Se So So Rogi, Rog Rehet Mera Satguru Jogi. That was the idea I tried to play with this whole talk of Rog and this idea of a disease, because then another Shabad that came to my mind that comes from Siri Sukhmani Sahib, Anik Opavi, Rog Na Jai, Rog Kate Hara Avakhadanai. I think it goes like that. ठीक है? So Anik Opavi, Rog Na Jai. That we try many things, Anik Opavi. Upavi here refers to like efforts. Anuka upavi rog na jai. But the rog does not go. And I said the only way the rog goes is har avakadanai through WhyGuruji's name. So what is this rog that Guru Sahib is speaking about? That they see wherever they look, Jojo di se so so rogi. Home rog manuk ko dina. They say the human, manuk. What rog does the human have? Home. I, me, I am. And we can expand that as much as we want. So say, Home rog manuk ko dina. That they've given this to the human. Right? Okay, we have this home da rog that, it holds us back. And that's the idea when someone said attachment, that when we leave this body, we still have an attachment to something or to someone. And when we come into this world, we come with attachment. How vicha aya, how vicha gaya. How vicha jamya, how vicha moa. Okay, read in Asa Kivar that aya gaya, that somebody comes in ego, somebody goes in ego. How vicha jamya. When we're born, we come with this ha. How vicha moa. When we die, we have this ha as well. So Guru Maharaj is speaking about humans here. Then they carry on. And they start speaking about animals. So when we say Jojo, this is the interesting thing, right? The Guru Sahib has not just come to save us, they've come to save all Ji Jant. Has anybody heard the Shabad? Ji Jant Sab Sarna Tumari? Sarabachin to the Pase means that Guru Sahib Ji, all Ji Jant, all beings, whether that's humans, animals, every single living being, Ji Jant Sab means all, Sab Sarna Tumari. They're all in your sanctuary. Sarabachin to the Pase. You wife for all of them. Jo to the pave soi changa. Whatever is pleasing to you, that's changa, that's great. Ek nanak ki ardas. That is my ardas. So when Guru Sahib speaks about the hathi, this is where we're going to expand it hopefully. Kam rog megal basalina. They said that the hathi has this rog of kam. Kam means lust, desires, so on, right? Does anybody know how they used to capture a hathi back in the day? What they would do to get the hathi? Sorry? Yes, a female elephant. Did you know that, or you just making up from the calm thing? Or have you caught a hathi before? I'll say, man, we need some hathi catchers here, man. Singh next week turns up to a talk on a hathi or something, innit? That'll be sick. Alright, so it's a female. So what they would do in those days is that they get a hathini. They'd a female hathi, it's called hathini, but what they would do is that they'd get a cutout. So they'd make a cutout of a fake elephant, female one, and they'd place it there, make a ditch underneath it. Elephant becomes Kami, seeing it, filled with lust. Its weakness is touch, the idea of lust and then touch. So it goes towards the hathini to, go to touch that female elephant, but there's a ditch underneath. It falls in the ditch, and then because the ditch is quite deep, it cannot get out. Does that make sense? When it's tired, they tie it up, and then they pull it out and they tie it towards something, and then that's it. They've caught it. Right? So the interesting thing is, there's a lot of concepts we can take away from this. The first thing is that we might even laugh at the hathi. Tika? We might laugh at the hathi and think, what a fool. Does that make sense? Right? Not disrespecting the hathi, because I don't want to get beef with the hathi, yeah? Right? Do you know what I mean? But the point is that we think, what a silly animal. How could you fall for that? Tika? For a piece of paper, right, that's been cut out. But then I was reading something once, it's from a different Granth, and they were speaking about, in it links, it was talking about animals and dogs, like how dogs will mate, right, to procreate, make future animals. And somebody was laughing. They said, look at this animal. Doesn't it have any shame? Look what it's doing, is mating in public. Tika? And what is written at the time is that somebody said to them that, actually, think about it. Why are they mating for? They're mating to create life. Right? They're not mating because of Kam. Does that make sense? What they were saying was that you're laughing at them, but when you get engrossed in Kam, it's not for creating life. It's for something completely different. So when we're laughing at the hathi, the point here is that you may be laughing at, this is just an idea just to think about today's world especially, it's a paper. But in today's world, what is it? It's a phone that people are looking at and engrossed in things like pornography, right? Calm, whatever it is, right? That is as even fake as the paper elephant, which is real in terms of it's actually a real elephant, it's made of paper. But what someone is looking at on their phone, what the world is selling us, not just things like pornography, what we see on our TV shows, this idea of life, what is a relationship meant to be like according to films and so on, that is as fake as what the hathi was experiencing, you could say, that we've been sold and that's been ingrained in us today. Even at topics like things like case, right? Which I saw a video by Harman Singh, he posted it, if you guys saw on our channel about this idea of case, where like in today's world, it's a thing where, forgive me for saying this, but hopefully it helps people, like where Singhs is like, Bibia can't have case. I'm not saying it's always the case, where they may say that I want my wife not to have case, right? Why? Why have you thought that? Because of what you've seen and what now you've been programmed to think a woman should look like, right? Or vice versa. It's not to say happens well, it can have the other way. You never know, right? But and like I don't want my husband to have a dastard and keep his beard or whatever it is, right? But where are we getting this from? Where are we taught this from? So I think it's interesting because when we look at Guru Sahib Ji, and we actually did a podcast yesterday with a very Chadidikla Guru Sikh called Bhai Satnam Singh from Denmark. He'll come out in January on Guru Gobind Singh's Prakash Purab. And he's talking about some of the oldest scriptures that are Guru Gobind Singh Ji. They had a darbar, they had a court, and they had a library where Guru Gobind Singh Ji would translate different manuscripts of different faiths. And one of the first manuscripts that they translated was stories of animals and the way they would interact in the world, like how a lion would live in the jungle and how you should never trust a lion because what's the lion going to do? It's going to eat you. Right? So these types of Sikhya. So it's interesting how even Guru Sahib Ji, within Guru Bani before this, was using animals. Was using we say Kudrat Kavana Kahavi Chad. You read that in Japji Sahib many times, right? That I'm a sacrifice to your creation. Because now from creation we can learn, actually, these are not that bad, Who is the Pashu? Who is the animal? Is it them or am I the Pashu? Am I the animal? Right? It comes in a Granth ko Sar Kutavali. They say Nindra Pojana Pog Pe Ehe Pasa Puraka Saman. They say Nindra means sleep, Pojan means food, Nindra Pojana Pog. Pog means to partake in pleasures. Calm, for example, right? Nindra Pojana Pog Pe. Pe means fear. Ehe Pasa Puraka Saman. This is what makes a Pashu and a Purak, a human, equal. What's the difference then? There is no difference. The only difference that we have is that we have this thing called Nij Gyan. Nij Gyan means that we can truly know who we are. Mantu Jot Srupa hai. Oh my mind, you are the light of WhyGuru. Apana Moon Pacham, realize your origin. So it's quite interesting, right? From all that Guru Sahib Ji, you can pull out this whole concept of Kam Rog Megal Basalina. That just from this one thing, the calm of the Hati has mean that it's caught. But what about the calm that we have and how that captures us, right, in the world? And what Guru Sahib has to say about things like calm, they say, I forgot the pankti now, it's in my head. There's a calm swadana. Does anyone know it? It's a court dinas dukha pava hai. Kari mahota rangaman hai, fir bahora pachatav hai. Right? They say nimika calm, swad karan. Nimika calm, for just a little bit of calm, swad karan. What was the karan, the reason? Because of the swad, the ras. Just a little bit of calm, nimika calm, swad karan, court dinas dukha pav hai. Millions of days of dukh. Because of that. They say kari mohota rangaman hai. Kari means for that one moment of bliss, worldly pleasure, kari mahota arangaman hai, phira bahora pachatav hai. Mor ke they start regretting, right? So it's just interesting, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is what was happening, and this is what is happening, because we're still in Kaljuk. Why that these are the things that are affecting us. When Guru Sahib is saying Jojo Dise So Rogi, they're not just talking to humans, they're talking to the whole dunya, that the whole world is caught in this, right? But it's for something for us to learn from, and to look at as well, that the Sikh, they want us to be the top of the top in everything. Man karke, dunya which whatever we're doing, the top of the top. What are we being controlled by our desires, or do we control our desires? Right? Who is the slave? So Bhai Veer Singh Ji, a great scholar, they speak about homme, right? Ego. And Bhai Veer Singh Ji says that we all need an ego. Of course you need an ego, because how are we meant to live in the world? But the problem is that the ego was like the dog, and we were like the owner of the dog. We was meant to be controlling the dog, but now the dog is controlling us. It's like we're on the leash, or we're holding the leash, but it's taking us everywhere. We shouldn't be controlling that, but we're not in control of that. Right? So it's becoming in control. So when we read in because you need Panj, you need the 5 qualities of anger, desire, we need these, but we're meant to control them. How do we know that? We read it every single day. Pancha dut tuda vasikite. That these 5 things, tuda vasikite means that you control them. Right? Not that we got controlled by them. So I think that was all in this one. Anything else? Right? That's a lot on an elephant. Right? Next one is the moth. We're not going to go for all the examples, but with the moth, it was the idea of drishtarog, looking. This is a big one, right? Pachpai patanga, moi patanga, sorry, that the moth is caught up in the light. You go to India, who gets bitten by the machar out there? Who's got the sweet blood? Right? And then they get bit, and they get the big fat lumps on them. I'm alright, good to kid, but I don't get nothing, right? Unless there's a machar who don't like me, right? I get that little dirty bite, and you start screaming when it happens. Okay, on my own then, right? So when you have the light on, then obviously the machar goes towards it, and you know where they all are, right? If you're my dadaji, you get out the charu and you start smacking them, right? Benji looks shocked, right? That's what he used to do. So the idea of light. So in this case, it goes towards the light and it burns itself, right? So this idea of eyes and the power of what we see around us. Tika? And in today's world, we can see how powerful that is because of things like our phones, right? And I was thinking about this on the weekend when I was doing katha, and I've seen it myself, I'm guilty of myself. Who's ever been in a room, right, with 5 people and everybody's on their phone? It's crazy, isn't it? You're all in a room together, but you're not talking to each other, you're on the phone. And you think, yo, this is crazy. If you watch a movie from 20 years ago, when the kids are in the playground, nobody's on a phone. Now when you watch TV shows, I'm not promoting them, but some are right, But when you see the kids, they got phones, right? And the amount of communication we have with our phone is way more than we have with our family. In a lot of cases, right? It's crazy to think it, right? I'm not here to say, oh, papi banda, you're bad, all this kind of stuff. I'm just trying to say this is the case, right? And the craziest thing is that it's all just what we see. It's what we're looking at, and that is going inside us. So again, we could say, oh, what an idiot, the moth, right? You went towards the flame, and you burnt yourself. But every single day, we're going towards that same flame on social media, but the difference is that we're sitting in the flame. Do you get it? It's burning us, but we're sitting in it. So when Guru Nanak ji said in the other Shabad, ke Baba dekhe dhyan tar, jarti sab prithvi, this eye, Guru Sahib is watching the whole world burn. And now we get that. Do you know what I mean by this one dimension earlier? It's not just Kaam Krodh Lobh Moh Ahankar. It's not just that simple. It's the idea that we're sitting in the fire. We're sitting in the fire every time we're just scrolling. And I promise you, I'm not just saying it to everyone, I'm saying it to myself as well. We're just sitting in it the whole time. Jarti sab prithvi, this eye. So moth ain't that bad, right? It gets burned, it moves on, next janam. We're still in the same janam, in the fire, burning away all the you could say burning away your good karma, maybe not, who knows, yeah? It depends what you're watching. If it's good stuff, then Jari Dikla, keep watching the Katha, based on Sikhi, Boss TV representing, right? But Jadatar is probably the idea that we're just burning away the swasa, or the breaths that we have, right? This precious life. Hire jaisa janam hai, kaudi badle jaye. This life is like a jewel, right? Ratan tyag, kaudi sangarache. That we gave up the ratan, tyag means to renounce, kaudi sangarache, and we just got a kaudi, a shell for it in return. That was the moth, right? Poor moth. Actually, moth's not a bad idea, we just said. Right, so then the last one, I think the last example is the day, na darog khap gaye koranga, na darog. That the hidden, the day, hears the noise. It's the hunter with his bell, and he's ringing it, and the day hears it, gets enticed by the sound, then he starts going towards it. Right, so look, the senses, and the nad, when it hears the sound, it goes, and then the hunter sees it, and then that's it. It's been caught, it's been killed. Right, and for us, same thing, things that we hear. Right, and again, I feel like even this talk is quite interesting because for me, I feel like when I'm doing the talk, it's me speaking to myself, right? So again, it's not judgment, it's just Gurbani speaking to all of us. And it's something that Jagraj Singh said in his talk recently, that if we have to understand we're not perfect, which is fine. Obviously, we're striving to become pure, become khalis, nirmal, and so on. But when Gurbani is speaking, Gurbani is telling us our state, what we are, right? So I can see the Sukhmani Sahib in the 10th or the 11th Ashtapadi, it starts off by saying, Mithya nahi rasana parsa, man meh pri naranjan darsa, par tere roop na pekhe netra, sad ki tehal sant sang heta. And then they said the next line. Anybody know? Hanji. Karan na sune kahu ki ninda. They say with our ears, karan na sune kahu ki ninda, don't listen to nobody's slander, because the next line, sab te jane apas ko manda, right? Understand that we're the lowest of the low. So poor day, right, gets caught up in a sound, gets caught, pew, killed, right? But for us, the sound of Nindya, what does that do to us? What is it? It takes away our kamai. It takes away all the good that we've earned. Right? So karna sune kahu ki ninda, sabte jane apas ko manda. Right? So again, that was the last one, and then it goes on. There's more examples that Guru Sahib Ji gives, but it comes to this point again, that Guru Sahib is saying, Jo jo dise so rogi, rog rehat mera sat guru jogi. That wherever I look, everybody has this disease. But the scariest thing when I was reading this, is that it's quite interesting because the elephant, in that case, not to go into too much nitty gritty, the elephant has one problem. What was the elephant's problem? Calm, right? And the idea of touch. What was the moth's problem? vision, right? Dirishta rog, we said, right? And then what was the last one we just spoke about? The day, and that was? Sound. Okay, so they all got this one weakness. Okay? But then what about us? Yo, man, we get from all places, right? Okay? So again, it's learning from what Guru Sahib is showing us in this Kudrati that we see about Kudrata Kavana Kaha Vichar, Varya Java Ek Var, Jota the Pave Sai Palikar, Tu Sada Salam and Nirankar. ठीक है, the asank jap, asank pao, asank budak, and then asank nav, so on, right? So I thought it was amazing because it shows that the mission of Guru Nanak Dev Ji was much more than just coming to save me or us humans, right? Or us Sikh, right? It wasn't even humanity. It was Jiya Janta. It was all beings. That Guru Maharaj Ji came on that day to save, when they say they came to serve, even today as well, right? There's countless stories in Itihas that talk about where Gurus have even saved animals as well, right? If you had the Saki of the elephant, it comes in Slok Nava, Gajajo Ho Sahai. It comes right at the end that they saved the elephant as well, right? So, what was my point? It's not to leave it doom and gloom like, animals all right, we're screwed, end of story, doomsday is coming up, all that kind of stuff. 2012, good movie. Before 2012, I was really scared. And after 2012, I'll watch it every time because that didn't happen, right? So, yeah, and Day After Tomorrow, that was a good film as well, right? Telling you what I watch. I like sci-fi and action, right? So, entire creation, Guru Sahib came to save everyone. Par Brahma Jiskini Daya Baha Pakara Rogoho Kadalaya. So when Guru Sahib Ji does kirpa, when they place their meher, their daya upon us, their hasharat compassion, Baha Pakar, the Guru holds onto our arm. And they say Rogoho Kadalaya. And they take this rog, this disease outside of us. Whatever it is that we are, again, the point here was just to show the expanse of this, but the point here was that whatever we have inside us, anako pavi rog na jai, rog mete, har avakadalai. That whatever it is that we are struggling with in our lives, whoever it is, whatever ji janta is, anako pavi rog na jai, the person tries again and again, when they say rog mete har avakadalai, it's only through the Guru, it's only through Naam. Right? It might sound like a bit of an airy answer, but that is as simple as it is. Right? Just keep walking the path. Whatever you guys are doing, I feel like in today's world we're so blessed with, with access and knowledge to all these things. We kind of already know the answers. Sikhi is very simple, but it's very hard to follow. Does that make sense? It's very simple what we have to do, but for some reason it's very hard to follow. We're told what not to do, but for some reason we still do it because you've got a good justification for why we need to do it. Like, no, Banda's very annoying, man. He deserves this. Do you get what I mean? Wherever the cost is, probably 10 times worse. But again, it's the idea that I'm trying to say to you guys. So, whatever we have inside us, wherever this is that we may be struggling with, whatever our obstacle is, if we hold onto the Guru's hand, the Guru will help us through that. The Guru will guide us through that. And again, another Shabad that comes to mind. So I hope if I translate them, so I'm not just saying stuff like what's Banda on about. But it comes again in Siri Sukuni Sahib. Andakupa mehe patata bekarar. So Andakup means anneku. It means the deepest, darkest well. They say Andakup mehe, I'm stuck in this deep well right at the bottom. Right at the bottom. Andakup mehe patata bekarar. And I say, I'm a papi. I'm the worst of the worst. They say, Nanaka kad leho prabhadayal. Menu kad leho. Guru Sahib Ji, take me out of this. Right? Take me out of this well. And that is where again the beauty of Ardas comes. And I was listening to Katha a few weeks ago, and again, this idea is interesting how it's floating. In the Katha, the Gurmukhi was saying, that it's only during the time of Rog that we start asking questions. It's only during the time of Dukh that we ask questions. When there's that idea of being healthy, there's no questions to be asked. We don't ask, why am I not well? Why is this happening? There's no questions. So same with Dukh. When there's no Dukh, there are no questions. When there is Dukh, there's questions. So it's interesting. You could look at it in a negative way. You could look at it in a very positive way. that there's a reason why this is happening. We are being shook at the core to get us to start questioning things in our life, questioning our own lives and what have I been doing? What am I doing? Is the question. And as negative as that can feel and sound, that what am I doing? It's actually great because it's better than spending another 10 years doing what we're doing and not have got where we need to get to. It's just almost a wake-up call, right? So that idea again of rog, right? That we all have this. Right? Like Guru, unless somebody has got a home, you've reached there, please talk to me afterwards, right? But the point here again is that if we hold on to the Guru's arm, Baha Pakara, then the Guru Sahib says to us, Ke rog ho kad dalaya. Theek hai? And then Tute Bandhana Sadh Sangapaya, that when we start to do Sadh Sangat, then these shackles are broken. Kaho Nanak Gora Rog Mataya. That then Guru Sahib says Gora, the Guru themselves, interesting in that case, ke Gora, Rare te Sahari lagi, there's a Sahari in the Rara, which means that it's through the Guru. Gora Rog Mataya. That through the Guru, the Rog is taken away. And guess what? We have the greatest Guru, Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So we've got the Guru, we know what we need to do, so let's just do it. It's going to take time. It's not going to, if it works tomorrow, that's great. If it works now, it works. That's amazing. But we've got the answer. The Guru has come to save us all, right? To remove this rog, whatever we have, what we're struggling with, not just us, everyone. So let's just crack on. Tika? So that's the end of the talk. And I've got one thing to finish off with, which is a Saki. Now, this is where I'm struggling. Because I had two Saki here, and I don't know which one to tell. Because they're both amazing, right? So I'll leave it up to you guys to pick which Saki you like to hear. Which is a bit of a weird thing to do maybe, but I think it'd be quite cool and something different. Tika? So, and another reason also is that it links to the Shabad, one of them does. But my point here to this also is that I've told these stories many times, right? But it's really true that every time, sometimes you need to hear a story again to, just for that reason of whatever our personal circumstances are. So there's either the Saki of Bhai Manji, if anybody's heard of Bhai Manji, anybody in this room heard of Bhai Manji? Theek hai, so Bhai Manji is a very famous Sikh from Guru. They're actually both Sakis of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Bhai Manji, and the struggles that Bhai Manji faced, that kind of, just to give you like a little, you know, you click on Netflix and it tells you a little about the movie and stuff in it. So it's rated 12, right? Okay, maybe not. Theek hai. So there's Bhai Manji, and he was actually initially a Parchar, a follower of Saki Sarvar, right? So a Muslim Peed, right? And he came to the Guru and he was tested so much, right? So many tests, right? And it's a very beautiful story. And then we got the Saki of Miskinia, right? So Miskinia, that story is about another Sikh who came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And Miskinia, not Miskinia, as in the Sikh that came, he wanted to become a Sikh as well. Both of them wanted to become Sikhs basically, right? And Guru Sahib said, nah, right? And then basically, he had to watch a wrestling match. Theek hai? So there's a bit, if anyone wants to talk about WWE, this is a bit of a WWE kind of Saki, not really. So it's up to you guys which one we go through, and then we'll go through it. So both of them, that's a lot to go through. But let's do hands up for the first one. If we have time, we can potentially go for the second one. So hands up for Bhai Manji. That's the people in the middle. Okay, and whose hands up for the second Saki, Miskinia? Okay, we've got a Miskinia going. The WWE fans are in here, right? So my name is Sukhdeep Singh. But some obviously people, I'm not advocating short names, but sometimes I'm called Sukh. And I'm like, the Sukh, this is such a bad joke, I'm thinking right now I shouldn't tell you. But like, you got The Rock. I'm like, the Sukh in it, yeah? But chalo, that's a bad joke. He's going to rip me for that, right? He's like, can you see the similarities? Yeah? Chalo. Okay, go bring it back in. Okay, so during the time of Guru Arjan Dev Ji, right, there was a Sikh who came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji, and he said to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, Guru Sahib Ji, bless you with Sikhi di daat. Theek hai? Bless you to become a Sikh. And Guru Arjan Dev Ji said, no. Theek hai? They said, Sikhi is very hard. Like we said earlier, simple, but it's hard. Like Because we read this every day, ke Akhana Aukha Sacha Now. That means that to say WhyGuruji's name is very hard. ठीक है? So what happens is that Guru Arjan Dev Ji says no. But of course, and this is a thing, right? Just because you come to the Guru's home and you may feel that you got to know, you can go away or you can try again. So if you look at the house, the Sikhs tried again. So it's not always the case that no means no, it means try harder. So this Sikh tried again. He said, no, Maharaj, please bless me with your Sikhi. The Guru didn't say yes the second time. He said, if you want to be a Sikh, you got to do seva. I'm going to give you a seva to do, right? I want you to take this letter to this random village and give it to one of my Sikh. ठीक है? That's your job. Just send this chitti, wherever the hukunama sahib is, the order inside, give it to my Sikh. So this guy basically ends up becoming like Royal Mail, and now he's got to work for the Guru, and Postman Pat, he's got to send the letter off. So he leaves, goes to his pind, and I want you guys not to forget about this person, because in this story we'll forget about him. ठीक है? He goes to this random village, meets this Sikh, gives him the letter. ठीक है? But there's this idea that when you go to see the Guru, we should never go empty-handed. ठीक है? So you'll see that even if somebody comes with a penny, some Gurmukhs even bring flowers. Well, if they're walking down the street, my Ustaji, they used to walk past a house where they have little flowers, they pick a little flower off and just jada that to Guru Saji, right? So never coming empty-handed, this idea, sharda that Sikhs would have, right? So he comes and he gives this letter to this Sikh, and this guy's not a Sikh, the messenger yet. And he says to the person, okay, in order to open this letter, you will give darshani peta. Darshani peta means that to see it, you have to pay to open it. ठीक है? Darshani peta was 100 rupees. Now 100 rupees at that time is a lot of money. We learned about Guru Nanak Dev Ji's story, about 20 rupees, 100 rupees. This Sikh had to sell everything, ठीक है, to make those 100 rupees. He sold all his items. He opens the letter, and the letter says at that time, okay, the Kar Seva, the Seva of Sri Harmandir Sahib is taking place. Sri Amritsar Sahib, within that city, there is Harmandir Sahib, and the Kar Seva, the Sarovar, is being made, the pool. So we need money to get this Seva done. They say to him, you need to give 500 rupees. He just spent all his money opening the letter, and now he's told 500 rupees. Thinking, how am I going to get 500 rupees? This is what the Sikh is thinking. As whilst this is happening, there's a toli. I know what a toli is, right? He's going past with his drum, he's playing it, and he's saying that Maskinia had just entered the village, and Maskinia is having a wrestling match. Whoever wants to fight Maskinia at this time, if you beat Maskinia, you get 1,000 rupees. If you lose to Maskinia, you'll get, anyone? 500 rupees. ठीक है? So Maskinia is coming to his village, and Maskinia is this wrestler. He's more like the Rock, right? He's massive, he's undefeated, nobody can defeat him, and he's coming to his village, just sick, really skinny, right? Stature's not big, nothing like that. And he thinks to himself, this is perfect, right? All I have to do is fight Maskinia, get battered, right? Get knocked out, but even if it doesn't matter, I'm going to get 500 rupees. So look at that, right? He then gets ready and goes towards the Akhada, right, where it's going to take place. Along the way, he gets thirsty, innit? He needs his hydration, right? He's going to fight Maskinia. He stops off at a khu, at a well. When he stops off at this well, there's a crowd, everyone's trying to get the water, and he's saying to everybody, get out of the way, get out of the way. They're saying, what are you doing? They go, let me get some water, I'm going to fight Maskinia, right? And everyone's saying, yo, you're crazy, man. You're going to go fight Maskinia, he's going to kill you. He's going to kill you, you're going to die. Do you get what I mean? Sohaila Sahib, everything's going to happen, right? If you get the joke, right? So that's a game over. And he's like, no, you don't understand. I'm doing this for my Guru. My Guru needs 500 rupees, so I'm going to go. It doesn't matter if I lose, because if I lose, I'm still going to get 500 rupees. Now, this is the khu. You say, let's imagine this is the khu, right? And he's drinking the water. There's like a parda, there's like, you can say like a sheet up. On the other side, somebody's having a bath. They're doing a shanan. Who do you think's on the other side? Miskinia. Miskinia is on the other side and he's doing ishnan, right? He's having a bath and he's hearing this whole conversation of the Sikh. And he's thinking to himself, who is this person? Right? So when the Sikh arrives at the Akhada, Miskinia turns up as well. They're going to get in the ring. Everybody's kind of looking at the Sikh thinking, what is this fool doing? Right? He's going to get mashed up. Do you get what I mean in it? And Miskinia comes in, the match starts, and they start, doing their thing, whatever it is, too much acting, like kabaddi, right? Whatever it is, right, yeah? And stuff. And they're walking around. Miskinia's playing around with him. Do you get what I mean? Obviously, he's going to take him out one blow, right? Miskinia grabs him and gives him a hug. Not like that kind of hug, but he's going to grapple him. He hugs him tight, and then he trips over himself. He trips over himself, he falls over, and the Sikh pins him. And the Sikh wins. Right? The Sikh wins at this time, and Miskinia has done it deliberately. It's not a mistake, it wasn't like some miracle that happened. Miskinia let him win. So the Sikh didn't win 500 rupees, he won 1,000 rupees. Do you get what I mean? Got a lot of ching there, right? And then Miskinia comes up to the Sikh afterwards and says, who is your guru? Who is this person that you are willing to give your whole life for? Take me to them. And they take him, Miskinia, to Guru Arjan Dev Ji. When they reach to call Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj is sitting there and they were reciting Siri Sukhmani Sahib. And when they were reciting Siri Sukhmani Sahib, at this time, they walk in and Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj was reciting the line, Sukhi basai maskinia, aapne var tale, bade bade ahankarya, nanak gar bagale. They're saying this line, and Miskinia walks in, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji says to Miskinia, hey Miskinia, Sukhi basai Miskinia, that you will be Sukhi. Why? Aapne var tale. You gave up this apa, this ego, this I, me. Bade bade hankarya. They say there's been many people in this world that have been great people in the world. Bade bade hankarya, in so much ego. They say, but Nanak gar bagale. They just like rotted away, burned away in their own ego, in their hankar. But you, Miskinia, you are blessed for what you've done. Does that make sense, this story? Now, what did I say at the start of the talk? This story. Don't forget about the lad, the man, right? He's watching all of this. And look what he's learning. He asked the Guru to bless him with Sikhi, and the Guru has just shown him Sikhi. From two different people. So remember the Sikh that went? They gave the letter. The one who wants to become a Sikh, he's gone. He's given the letter. Now that Sikh, we follow his journey with Miskinia. The Sikh and Miskinia have come back, but they came with that person. And now he's just learned from Guru Arjan Dev Ji what it means to be a Sikh. He's learned it from two angles. He learned it from the angle of the Sikh. That was complete sacrifice. Right? Jo Guru kahe, soi pala man ho. Wherever my Guru says is perfect. He learned that from the Sikh. And what did he learn from Miskinia? Again, sacrifice all this idea of Nimrta, lose your ego. Aap chhod, benti karo. Right? He learned two lessons, and then in that case, when it comes to him, then he's best with Sikhi Didat, but look what he learned from that as well. Right? So that was a story of Miskinia. And it's quite interesting because when I was telling the story, I kept feeling I went to go off on a tangent. But it's interesting because in that story, we talked about this idea of a coup, of a well. And we spoke about that earlier. Right? And the idea of a Sikh, I wanted to become a Sikh, and the same thing happened in Bhai Manji Saki as well. Tika? So, let me check. It's 8:30. Do you want to hear the Bhai Manji Saki, or we can do Samapti? Hear it? Tika ji. So Bhai Manji Saki is very similar. I won't tell in too much detail, but I'll try to remember because I was actually reading it when you guys were walking in. I've told it before Guru Kirpa, before I was getting the details. Then I thought, let me tell this story, it's a bit shorter. But it's a beautiful story anyway. So similar thing happened where Bhai Manji was already a follower of a spiritual, not spiritual, but a faith, right? A Saki Saravar. Now Bhai Manji learnt about Guru Arjan Dev Ji. He came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji's court and he did the same thing. He asked for the same daat, Sikhi di daat. Guru Arjan Dev Ji said, no, you already follow somebody. You can't just follow somebody else. You got to stay loyal to Saki Sarva. And also, you are like the main person in your village. You're very rich. You've got a business. You've got your family. You've got your colleagues, people that you work with, other businessmen. If you leave your faith and become a Sikh, you're going to lose all of that. Just stay as what you are. But Bhai Manji wanted Sikhi so much. The reason I'm sharing these stories is because they inspire us. Or even the idea that, like, I can see it in some of your faces when I was telling the story. It's nothing to do with me. This is the greatness of the Saki. It's even the Maskinia Saki. We've become so present in the story. And that's what Saki means. One translation of Saki means to witness. So when the Guru gave us these Sakya, it was that you were meant to be there yourself and witness it. Like when we read a book, and you can make you make the characters up in your head how they would look. Right? That's what a Saki is, really. It's a story, it's a teaching, but it's for you to witness it yourself and live it. And that's what we're doing. That just uplifts us so much. We feel like we were with Guru Arjan Dev Ji then. We feel like we were watching that. We were one of the Sangat members sitting there when Guru Arjan Dev Ji said to them, "Nah, you ain't becoming a Sikh." Right? So that's what it means to live the Saki. So Bhai Manji very similar. Guru Arjan says, "No, why would you do this for? Stay." But they said, "No, you're going to. I want to become a Sikh." So when he goes back home, he has this jagah. He has this little area where he has this like statue of his beard and so on. Breaks it all down, and within a few days, his business just collapses. He loses all his stuff. And he went from being this rich man to being kicked out of his village, sent to a random village, and he became a grass cutter. Right? From having all this stuff, he lost everything. Right? But he doesn't mind because he's got a Sikhi. And I think another thing is that maybe we can relate to some of these things in our lives when we go through hardship, right? We know Bhai Manji. Now Bhai Manji goes through such hardship that what happens now is that Guru Arjan Dev Ji, so Bhai Manji is struggling, he's basically living his life, he's got this contentment. Guru Arjan Dev Ji is where they are in Sri Amritsar Sahib, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji remembers Bhai Manji. Guru Arjan Dev Ji sends Bhai Manji a letter. Similar thing to the other story, right? And in order to open the letter, give darshni peta. Theek. So Bhai Manji has to sell items as well to afford to open that letter. When Bhai Manji opens the letter, from what I remember in the house, it just says, "You're doing great, carry on." Theek. But to us, we'd be like, "Are you being serious?" Like all of that for that. But for Bhai Manji, the difference was that Bhai Manji was so happy because remember the start of the talk of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. The Guru remembers the Sikh who remembers the Guru. When we do Simran, the Guru is remembering us. Bhai Manji was so happy that my Guru sent me a letter, my Guru is thinking about me. If you've ever been blessed to be around a blessed soul, however you want to say that, and take that in your own personal life, when they look towards you, when they speak, don't you feel so special? If you met like a saint or Gurmukhi, right? Don't you feel so special that they said something to me, they smiled at me, right? Imagine how Bhai Manji must have felt that my Guru wrote me a letter. Because like when we go to such places, whoever it is, it could be anyone, right? But you feel like you've been singled out, you feel special. Imagine the Guru's court, there were thousands of people that were there. How busy people get in their lives. And the Guru took the time out to send me a letter, and the Guru think about me. So it's the idea, right? It's just the idea of that, the way we look at the world, and so on. So Bhai Manji carries on. The second time a letter comes, again, just interest of time to keep it short. The second time, he cannot afford to open the letter because he saw everything the first time. So they say that he did an IOU. His wife did an IOU where they loaned the money and she'd work it off, right? The second time the letter said to Bhai Manji, "You are to come now to Sri Amritsar Sahib and stay in my sharan, stay in my sanctuary." Bhai Manji leaves his family now to go to Sri Amritsar Sahib and to serve Guru Arjan Dev Ji directly. What is Bhai Manji's seva? Does anybody know their seva, what they do? Yes, they do Langar di seva. So I'm talking about like Balan earlier as well. This idea of the firewood for Langar di seva, that was Bhai Manji seva. ठीक है? And what happens is that it doesn't end there. Because one day Guru Arjan Dev Ji says that my Sikh Manji Ji, okay, what does he do? What does he do here? They say, Maharaj, he does Langar di seva. Then after Langar di seva, he has Langar. ठीक है? Which is nothing wrong with, right? Everyone's got a bit of Langar at the end, right? Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, tell Bhai Manji Ji he can't have Langar anymore. No more. It doesn't make sense. They're saying this to Bhai Manji Ji, so don't worry about this for you guys, if you have a Langar. They're saying it doesn't make sense. How can you do Langar di seva and then eat the Langar? You're just cancelling yourself out. Right? It's a test. Right? So don't worry, if you watch the panda, you can use the panda. Right? And you have to bring your own one from home here. So, but it's, when Bhai Manji Ji hears this, they have to stop eating Langar. So Bhai Manji Ji now will collect firewood, but they have to collect extra firewood to sell and to make their own money, ends meet, and then buy the items. But what this was doing to Bhai Manji Ji was that it was making their body very weak, physically, right? Because all this seva that they're doing, and they were not eating properly because they were just imbued in the Guru's love, right? And then what happens that Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj Ji one day calls Bhai Manji Ji, and he said to Bhai Manji Ji, look what's happened to you. Look what's happened to you from doing seva, from coming here to the Guru's home. Look at the state of you. Why don't you just leave, go back to Saki Sarvar, and you get everything back? ठीक है? You get your health back, get your wealth back, get your family back. All these things that our lives, that, you know what I mean? That's the center of our lives. And it's not judgment, it's just being inspired by Bhai Manji Ji, right? You can have it all back. Just don't do this. The Guru is saying it straight to Bhai Manji Ji's face. And Bhai Manji Ji says, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here. I'm staying with you. Then what happens is that the next day Bhai Manji Ji goes to do seva. They say that Bhai Manji Ji didn't go on their own. They have people that go with him as well, Kevadi, to do seva. On this day there's a big storm. And when this storm occurs, Bhai Manji Ji is struggling to bring the firewood back. And it's a storm, it's getting late, it's later than normal, so it gets dark. So Bhai Manji Ji can no longer see where they're walking. And they say on that path back, as they're walking, there's a well, similar to the other story as well, right? But this well is not surrounded by bricks, right? It's just an open well, right? And Bhai Manji Ji is walking, they can't see clearly, and Bhai Manji Ji falls straight into the well, right? They've got the wood on top of their head, they're carrying it, straight into the well, blup, straight into the pani, right? Now, if that was me, I'd first scream, right? And then I'll drop the wood and try and climb out if there's a way, which you've seen the wells in India, ain't happening, right? They're quite deep. Bhai Manji Ji just stands there in the well, right? With the wood on top of their head for the whole night. Guru Arjan Dev Ji knows what's happening, but Guru Arjan Dev Ji doesn't go to see them. It's the test. Again, they're testing Bhai Manji Ji. Why? Why are they testing them so much? Who knows, right? Bhai Manji Ji spends the whole night standing in the well, whilst Guru Arjan Dev Ji is sitting on the throne, right? Bhai Manji Ji is thinking about Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Of course, Guru Arjan Dev Ji is thinking about Bhai Manji Ji, right? But what a relationship. Even still, look at that, right? Just think about mentally where their mind is at the whole time. So Bhai Manji Ji the next day, still standing there, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, after the Divan Amrit Vele, the Divan Ostobad, Bhai Manji Ji is still there. Guru Arjan Dev Ji stands up, right? They're sitting on their throne, they stand up, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji starts running. They just start running, and everyone's like, where's the Guru going? So everyone starts running behind the Guru, right? Because obviously if Guru Sahib is going somewhere, they don't know what's going on. Guru Sahib doesn't even put their shoes on, right? So there's no shoes on Guru Sahib Ji's charan, and they start running straight towards the well. All the Sangat gathers and they say, what's going on? And Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, there's a Sikh. My Sikh is inside this well, pull him out. So what happens is that the Sikhs look down in the well, and they look down, all they can see is just a pile of wood, right? And they look down and they say, who is it? Who is it? Who is it? The echo, right? This is where I did my little humor as well, right? And they say, it's Manj. Manj. I'll stop there, right? Chika, you get it, right? That's good, isn't it? So they're saying, who is it? And they say, it's me, Manj. And they say, what are you doing, man? Drop the wood. Right? It's not written like this in the story, but it's the same gist, right? They say, drop the wood, climb out, job done. And they say, no, first take the wood. Because the wood is for the Sangat, is for the Seva. ठीक है? Look at that. Bhai Manjji, after all of this, what does he think about? He thinks about the Sangat. It's just a reminder to all of us. To all of us, right? That's how great Bhai Manjji is, right? It's like, take the wood, I'll come afterwards. Right? So they chuck the rope down, Bhai Manjji ties it up, pulls the wood out. Now it's his turn, right? They chuck it back down again. They tie up, I think they tie up to like maybe like a chariot, a rat, that's to a horse, and they pull Bhai Manjji out. Now the interesting thing here is that Bhai Manjji doesn't know that Guru Arjan Dev Ji is there. That's the interesting point. They only know the Sikh are there because they're communicating with Bhai Manjji, that we learned earlier. Right? So if Bhai Manjji climbs out of the well, the first person that Bhai Manjji sees is Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Right? So Bhai Manjji goes running towards Guru Arjan Dev Ji. They fall in the feet of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. And this is the most beautiful part where they say to Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Guru Sahib Ji, please do not look at what I have done. They say, don't look at what I have done. For one night, I fall about your Guru Sikhs, but every night you think about your Guru Sikhs. One night I put myself to one side and I thought about your Sikh, the Seva, Langar di Seva. I thought about them, but you, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, you always think about Sikh day and night, right? All the time. So whatever I have done is nothing compared to what you do for us every single day. So look at someone like Bhai Manjji who is tested again and again and again, lost everything. And Bhai Manjji still wanted to serve his Guru and serve the Sangat. But in Bhai Manjji's mind, he's thinking to himself, okay, I thought about your Sangat every single day, but you think about them all the time. So in Bhai Manjji's mind, he knows that even in his loss physically, that it's not a punishment. The Guru is not punishing me. The Guru is not trying to make me sad. The Guru is not angry with me. Because Bhai Manjji could have said to them something else. They're saying to him, but Guru Sahib Ji, I thought about your Sikh once. You think about your Sikh all the time, every single day. So you're always blessing your Sikhs. You're blessing me. So one thing a saint once said to him was that everything is kirpa. Which is very hard to swallow, right? But the idea there that Bhai Manjji, through all his hardship, he still saw Guru Arjan Dev Ji as being completely, that form of being Diyalu and Kripalu. We read in Gurbani, Tum samsar nahi dayal. That means there's no one as compassionate as you. Mohe samsara papi. You are the most compassionate and I'm the biggest sinner. Right? So Bhai Manjji there, they saw Guru Arjan Dev Ji for what they truly were. And what we see from Bhai Manjji is just an iota of, even though to us Bhai Manjji is the ocean, we see an iota of Guru Arjan Dev Ji's greatness. Through Bhai Manjji, through the Guru Sikhs. How great are the Guru Sikhs? So Bhai Manjji then, Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, Bhai Manjji kuch manga, ask for anything that you want. Anything that you want. And one of the things that Bhai Manjji says to Guru Arjan Dev Ji, there's three things, but I can't remember all of them, but one of the things that stuck out to me is that they said to Guru Arjan Dev Ji that this Sikhi is very hard. Please never test your Sikh like you tested me today. So Bhai Manjji's ardas to the Guru was not for themselves, it was still for the Sangat. Sarbat, Dapala, that we do, right? A Sikh, for some interesting reason, still puts everyone else before themselves. And we see that in our ardas. Our ardas, again, another thing that I heard recently is that in ardas, it's so beautiful that the Guru, even if we don't do ardas for ourselves, the whole Panth is doing ardas for us. Sikhanu, Sikhi Dan, Kes Dan, Ret Dan. We're never alone. True, right? Because even if we can't do it for ourselves, someone is doing it for us. Something is happening. We just can't see it, right? So Bhai Manjji, amongst one of the three things that also was this, ठीक है? And then Guru Arjan Dev Ji sang a Shabad, right? It's a Tahasik Shabad. There's a coming Guru Granth Sahib Ji. They say, Manj pyare Guru nu, Guru Manj pyare. Manj Guru ka boh tha, Jagalangan hare. They say that Bhai Manjji is beloved to the Guru, and the Guru is beloved to Bhai Manjji. Manj pyare Guru nu, Guru Manj pyare, Manj Guru ka boh tha. And so that Bhai Manjji is the boat of the Guru. And whoever learns the story of Bhai Manjji, whoever, you could say in that case, even man karke does namaskar to Bhai Manjji, who lives the teachings of Bhai Manjji, that they will be carried across this worldly ocean as well. ठीक है? And that was what Guru Arjan Dev Ji had to say about Bhai Manjji. Manj Guru ka boh tha, Jagalangan hare. Okay, Bhai Manjji is the boat that carries us across. So look, we're never alone. Whether we're on our own, Guru Sikhs around the whole world are doing ardas for us every single day. And every single time where Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj's Prakash and ardas is happening, the ardas is for Panth di Chardi Kala. ठीक है? और सिक्खा नु सिक्खी दान, केस दान. So we're never alone. Even if we can't access the Guru, we feel so far, the Guru will send someone to us. Well, look how beautiful our Guru is. If we couldn't go to the Guru came to us for at the house. Or even now the Guru Sikhs, right, where they just speak to us in so many ways. So yeah, I don't know what the message is, but we're never alone, right? We're never alone. The Guru is always with us. So hopefully we took something away from the talk. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I must have many mistakes, a lot of stuff I didn't plan most of the stuff, so I didn't prepare as well as I could have. So I'm sorry for that. I'm not sorry for the jokes, they were great, right? So I'm gonna keep those, right? But I'm sorry for all the other stuff. Thank you guys. If you have any questions, you can ask after the Fateh. Otherwise, if you need to go, you can. If you ask any private questions, you can. If you want some more say, then Bhai Sahib's gonna do the seva of eating them. And if there's any left over, he might hand them out. And Baba Singh, any announcements?
Hanji, just a couple of plugs to you. On Saturday, there's a Rag Darbar happening in Wolverhampton that we've part organised. So if you enjoy it, then we organised it ourselves. If not, then it was someone else.
And just one other point as well that I forgot to put in the presentation because, like I said, it was a bit of a last-minute job, is that it's been mentioned a few times with this idea of we've got a new initiative. It's called a Fund Parchar. This isn't me saying to you guys, pay me to do this. It's nothing like that. But there are so many great Gurmukhs out there that are doing seva. Right? Even just recently we heard about another case of Guru Sikh who's doing such beautiful seva, and like in terms of his own personal situation, he's struggling, and he's a gem in the Panth. Right? So all I would say to you guys is that I'll put a link up afterwards. I'll go on the internet, put it up. But if you guys can support seva going forward, wherever seva is, please support it. But we are doing this Fund Parchar, which is not for me. Right? It's not for us that are sitting here. It's for those people, the future generations that are coming through, that are doing this full time, that hopefully, like, this is amazing that there's probably like 60, 70 people here, and now like it's amazing that we've got talks in North Birmingham, Wolverhampton happening every single week. That would be possible at the Sikh Vidyalaya that's taking place. We've got now South Birmingham that is taking place. We've got Leeds every single week. So it's not about like organisation in terms of you got to give money to basic Sikhi. It's not about this or that. It's about the idea that let's keep spreading this message of Guru Sahib. And however we felt today, and however I feel today delivering these talks, we need more people to feel like that. And we've got a mission to spread the message of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And if you look at the last slide, Pragatapai Sagale Juga Antar, Guru Nanak Ki Vadiyai. That this is our mission, to spread the vadiyai, the greatness of Guru Nanak Dev Ji in this world, right? And the more of us we have doing it, the better. And on that note, if you can't give money, give your time, right? Join in with the seva, right? If you want to learn to do Parchar full time, to develop yourself and to spread the message of Sikhi, then speak to the sevadars after as well, because there's a Vidyalaya that runs here, not too far, like 10 minutes down the road, right? For 6 months, you can learn, not even just learn, you can immerse yourself in Sikhi for 6 months and then live that day in, day out, and hopefully inspire others to immerse themselves in it as well. So again, Hanji Viji.
Bhagavad the link up.
100%. Yeah.
Why would you go Khalsa when you were there? So I mean, you just also keep thinking of the link up with regards to the Pracharik campaign that we're doing.